Hey folks, I'm making this video to talk more about how to be more social, and I'm gonna use insights from this book I read, How to Win Friends and Influence People. This is a very famous book which has been used and talked about in a lot of places over internet, and I'm gonna take a different approach to it, talk some examples from my life and from this book, and just share my thoughts around how you can use these examples in real life to be more social and win friends. So, this book is a very big book and has lots of contents and techniques. I'm gonna break it down into smaller pieces so that it's easier to talk, because I have found that if you talk a lot of things in one go, you just don't get it and then you just forget about it. So I'm gonna focus on small and concise principles and talk through them, and hopefully this helps you. So this book says there are actually fundamental techniques in handling people, which is very crucial to be more social. And there are three principles. The first principle is don't criticize, condemn, or complain. So what this principle says is basically if you try to criticize a person, they become defensive, and actually you don't get out and you don't go along well with that person. So take an example, like how many times you have asked someone for a favor or wanted them to do something for you, but they did not do it, and basically you guys are into an argument mode and nothing goes anywhere. So that's definitely not a way to become more social. So I would say I had similar uh, situation in my life. For example, when I was at work, I was working on this project and my manager actually taught me about what I was not doing wrong. So once I heard it, I became defensive and I was shielding myself and talking that what I did good and what he missed, and then the argument did not go well, and I almost got fired. I'm kidding, I did not get fired, but what I'm saying is um, criticisms are like homing pigeons. Once you fly them, they come back to you, and in the same way, when you throw criticisms on other people, they will throw criticisms at you. So, I would like to quote like a good example from this book, or a quote which I really like. So, when dealing with people, let us remember we are not dealing with creatures of logic, we are dealing with creatures of emotion. So this is very good quote which says that we treat people as someone who can understand everything, our emotion, our logic, how we think. But to be honest, there are a lot of things going on in people's mind which basically not let which seals them from hearing what we want from them. So you have to be very craft and understanding of the other person if you want to handle that argument, or if you want something out of that person. And this takes a lot of courage, and this book also talks that a great man shows his greatness by the way he treats little men. So an example of this is this guy named Bob Hoover. He was a beautiful pilot, like a very talented pilot in his own time, and when he was flying a jet of his own, he noticed that he could not fly the jet, and there were some problems, and it almost got into accident. When he came back and tried to ask like what happened with the jet, and he came to know that this mechanic, he actually put gasoline instead of the jet fuel. So then what Bob Hoover actually did was he went to the mechanic, and instead of like scolding and talking out that why he did that, he instead said that to show you I'm sure you will never do this again. I want you to service my F-51 tomorrow. You can see how he actually took control of the situation, put a bigger heart, and did not criticize the mechanic. He could have said that why did you do this, he could have fired that person, but instead he took a bigger approach. a bigger man approach. So this is a different skill set which takes more introspection and inner work, which could be a different video. But what I'm trying to say is, criticizing other people doesn't help you be more social. So you need to find other ways in order to be more open and accommodating of the other person. The second principle, which I think is the most important of all, giving honest and sincere appreciation. Well, I found very important lesson from this book is that everyone has a lot of desires. I'll list down what this book says, that most of the people have desires in terms of health, food, sleep, money, life in general, sexual gratification, well-being of our children, and the feeling of importance. And Dale Carnegie says that feeling of importance is the most important characteristic and the desire which people have. And if you can tell how you like to feel important, then Dale can say, and anyone can say, your personality. Like if you feel like you are more money, like if you want money to feel important, then it makes you feel that you are more money oriented, money minded. And there's no bad or good about all these things. It's just that what your personality is. Similarly, if it makes that you want to be a big CEO of a company or a president of a country in order to be important, that means you need a position of power in order to feel important. So finding that one click, that what makes the other person feel important, is a very important way to handle the other person. And one good way of making other person feel important in general, if you don't know about them, is complimenting and appreciating them. So remember, when was the last time you actually appreciated your friend, your colleague, or just said something nice about them? I assume a lot of people would not have, like, we don't think about these things in our day-to-day life. We just go about ourselves and do things. So think of it like that. People actually think that if you go without food for like 6 days, it's like a crime, like you are killing someone. But at the same time, people go without appreciating other people for like 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months, 60 years. Like how many times have we seen like people don't appreciate what other people do for them in their life? So that's the problem, and that's why people become less social or doesn't get the chance to be social with people around themselves. A lot of people will say that isn't appreciating or complimenting people flattery? No, Dale Carnegie says in this book that flattery is very different from appreciating people. Flattery actually comes from a malice or a selfish nature, but appreciating comes from the heart out. Flattery is more about talking what the other person thinks of himself, but appreciation is more about what people does not realize in their day-to-day life. So just a task for you, like think about a scenario, or just go out to a shop or a coffee shop or a barista, and see the guy there, guy or girl, and notice something unique in them, like which is different from normal people. Like maybe their hair, or it may be how they talk or how they serve, or just appreciate that gesture. So for example, this incident, I just went to this guy and just noticed his hair was like nice and curly, and then I just complimented that, hey, your hair looks good, like I really like it. And then a cheerful smile came to his face, and he started talking about, oh, I got to this salon and I got this hair done, and he had been trying to do this for a long time, and he really appreciates that I noticed about it. So do this with someone, and then you will see the smile on their face and the following conversation which comes into the picture. Third principle, arouse in the person an eager want. This is kind of very tricky and difficult. Um, think about a situation when you go out when you are out for a fishing. What do you do? Like, how do you catch fish? You have to bait the fish in order to do that. But um, if if I were you, you would be thinking, okay, so what do I like? I like ice cream. What is the best thing which makes me feel good while eating? I would say ice cream is one of the good food which I would like to eat if someone wants to entice me. But would you do the same if you want to catch the fish? Um, like, would you add ice cream or anything you like in order to catch the fish? No, right? So a fish would always like a worm. So you would not add ice cream to the bait, you would add a worm to the bait and then you will catch the fish. So why not use this same principle for fishing people? And there's this important quote I want to talk from this book, that arouse in the other person an eager want. He who can do this has the whole world with him. He who cannot walks a lonely way. So this highlights the importance of arousing the want in other person in order to be more open and kind to the other person and become more social and in the way. So this book talks about Dave's incident with his family. So her sister wasn't able to get messages, mails, replies to the mails from their son, and Dale actually talked to her, and she said to him that I want replies from them. They haven't been listening to them. So Dale said that he can actually get reply from them, and he took this as a challenge. So what he did was he basically wrote letters to his nephews saying all the kind words, and then at the end he said that in order to appreciate the struggles you have been going through in college, I'm attaching $5 bills. But he willingly not added the $5 bills. So you can guess, like, they got replies from their nephews, and they were talking and about all the kind words, and finally they did mention that hey uncle, you did forget to add the $5 bills to the mail last time. So you can see the technique here, where they'll actually wrote the letter in terms of what the other person, what their nephews wanted, instead of writing about his emotions or his sister's emotions, lashing out on the nephews that why have you not been writing us. He instead took the other approach. So this shows the beauty of, like, thinking from other person's point of view and then talking through them. One fact a lot of people would say that wouldn't this be a manipulation of the other people if you find that from the other person and then try to talk them out into it? This book says, and I would say agree, that arousing an eager want in other person is not manipulation. The difference here is both of the people are benefiting in this case. While in manipulating, you try to get something out of the other person while not making the other person gain something. So I would finally like to quote that from this book, that if there is any one secret of success, it lies in the ability to get the other person's point of view and see things from that person's angle as well as from your own. So this is everything I wanted to cover in this video. All the 3 principles in handling people, and I hope you guys like this. If you want more examples and interpretations of other ways this book talks about handling people, liking you, give it a like, comment, and tell me what I missed, and if you have your examples of your own, and subscribe, and then I'll come back with more videos on the same topic and other topics on these techniques.